Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, get into some TA. Alright guys, today is the day we prepare for the upcoming week. We have an absolute crap ton of trade ideas coming your way. We're going to hit it with the speed round in the second half of the video, so stay tuned for that. We're going to start off with SPY. We're going to go over SPY, QQQ, IWM, DIA, Mr. VIX. Then we got the chips on deck. Then we got the Bitcoin and Bitcoin stocks on deck. And then we have Henry's trade ideas, which, guys, we have so many we're going to go over, okay? Some of these are A+ setups. Some of these are loading. We have a juicy video for you guys. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start off here with SPY's weekly chart. And I am going to point out, guys, you closed out with the shooting star candlestick. And now you have something that I would like to call a gravestone doji. This is not the best look. And I do have to definitely say it looks like you are stalling out. Okay. You know, I didn't think you were just going to push back up after this candle here. I thought we were going to start that pullback. But, you know, guys, that's why we do the daily updates. We take things as we go. And when things started shaping up the way they were shaping up down here, right here, okay, that was on Tuesday. That is when I started to change my tune. I said, we're probably coming back up to the highs. All right. Well, I said we're probably coming up to test golden pocket, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. All right. And the supply zone. And guess what? Above that, if you take out 54741, probably just coming up to 550. What the heck happened, guys? You came up to 550 and you hit it with the Uno reverse card on a Friday. All right. You closed out with a pretty bearish setup. All right. Going into next week, that is not the best look. All right. So let's talk about it. Like I said, shooting star, gravestone doji. What makes up the gravestone doji, guys? You have an open price. All right. That's right here. You could see it right up here. All right. So we opened at 544.33. Where did we close? 544.22. Guys, that is 10 cents. It is 10 cents. That is what makes up the gravestone doji. You have an open and closing price. You see, you know, a swing upward, a big swing upward intra week there, and then by the end you close very close to that open. That is essentially what creates the gravestone doji candlestick. It is not the most bullish look. You can imagine why. You had the big move up, and then by the end of the week, bears completely took control and closed you right where you opened at, towards the low. That is not good. All right, that is not a good look going into next week. All right, so now that we've done that, let's talk about it. Daily time frame. You got the, what do you got? Bearish engulfing candlestick with a large upper wick, guys. If you're not new to the channel, then you know I respect these candlesticks. The candlesticks will lead the freaking way. All right, we follow price action as it comes, and as of the most recent price action, we got a bearish engulfing candlestick with a large upper wick with very heavy volume, I might add. All right, let's just look at it this way. The last big volume spike you had that's comparable to that, I mean, of course, you had this one and marked the top, all right, and then you started coming down, and then now you actually do have a double top. So I always say, as double tops are very, you know, rarely going to play out. This is one of those cases, just like over here, where, you know, it looks like it probably is going to play out. You're going to take out 542.62, and underneath there, yeah, that's your neckline for the inverse, not inverse. What was I about to say? Inverse head and shoulders. All right. We look at so many inverse head and shoulders. Speaking of inverse head and shoulders, we're just going to come over ES. Absolutely amazing. All right. Amazing breakout you had over here. And you ran right back up to the high. All right. Where is the neckline? You asked. The neckline is sitting right here. Okay. You broke there. You retested it. And boom. You were off to the freaking races. All right. And then, as you could see, you gave the whole move back, and now we just have this massive range we're paying attention to. Come over back over here to SPY, and guys, all right, it don't look pretty. It don't look pretty at all. You're at the bottom of the range, all right? You swept liquidity at the top, and you came down to the bottom. All right, I'm pretty sure I mentioned in Friday's intraday update that typically when I see you sweep one of these sides of the range, you're going to go towards the other side of the range. Well, where did we end up? We ended up going to the other side of the range. All right, so guys, underneath 542.62, you are paying attention to 540.30. Underneath 540, you're paying attention to 536.89. Those are the supports that I'm really watching. In the end, the level that really stands out to me on this weekly chart and the daily chart, it's going to be down there at 533.07. So I'm going to make a call here. I'm not going to say we're going to get all the way down here, but I'm definitely going to say, hey, I think that is probable over the following weeks. Guys, we never could be too certain with these charts because quite frankly, you could hit with the Uno reverse one of these days. And if I see the reverse candlestick of this form when we're right here and you don't make it down there, of course I'm bailing on the call. Of course, we're going back up, baby, okay? You have a bunch of, it would be this candlestick. How are you going to be bearish on this candlestick? You can't. When we printed this candlestick, we said, heck no, heck to the nah. We have to be bullish off of it. People are getting real bearish. You got this, you don't get bearish on it. You got this, you get bearish on it. I've been telling you guys for this whole run, okay? During here, during all of these, I was telling you guys, it's gonna show itself, all right? It's gonna present itself in the longer time frame, okay? The larger time frame. Where I draw my bias from is always going to be this weekly time frame, okay? It was gonna show itself. It showed itself. These candles don't suggest immediate downside. Well, what happened? You had the upside. They do suggest immediate upside. They don't suggest immediate downside, all right? You had the upside, and then you have the same week, okay, you went $7 higher, but that same week, then you hit it with the reversal candlestick, and then you saw bears actually did take control. All right, so here we're expecting higher prices next week. All right, we're not saying what's going to actually form the following week. We're saying we're expecting those higher prices because it makes no sense to sell off of this candlestick, just like it made no sense to really sell off of that or that. And this thing is, you know, it's a neutral candlestick. You're going to hear me refer to some of these candlesticks as neutral. And that's another one you got right here. What happened? You didn't do much of anything the next week, okay? Well, guess what? All right, now we got the candle that does suggest immediate downside, and that's what we had going on over here. All right, so this week we're looking for consolidation / downside going into the week. What happened? All right, you technically just got your consolidation within this range, right? But again, if I see things intra-week, I'm going to change my tune. I promise, guys, all right? And I don't want to be known as a flip-flopper. Don't take it that way, but I'm just going to read the price action as I see it, as it comes. If you're not new to the channel, then you do know we're decently freaking accurate, all right? I'm going to say we got an 80% accuracy reading across all the charts I read, all right? It could even be higher, okay? So I'm gonna do my thing without any bias here. With this is suggesting we're going down. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I'm gonna be the guy to tell you that that's probably what's coming. After 2 weeks of this, you see the sellers are in control here. You see it. It's a coming, guys. It's a coming. All right, guys, so those are the downside levels you're paying attention to. Underneath right here, you pay attention to right here. Underneath there, you pay attention to 536.89, just in case you can't see that. Underneath there, 533.07. Now, keep in mind, guys, along this broader uptrend that we have this last leg up, that's 11%. That's $55. Who cares if you pull back $9? You're going to see everybody getting really freaking bearish. And then your boy is going to remind everyone, all right? Guys, we called for this move, and I'm a bull, okay? So, like, let's really look at it this way. This is not a bearish monthly candlestick. You probably come back here, and if not here, you're going to come back here and test a 3-month range. What happens when you test the top of the 3-month range? You are going to rip faces after that. Why are you not going to get buyers stepping in here? You see this move here, okay? You get bullish on the move because it's probably going to be followed by that. All right, so just keep in mind, we're bearish for the time being. You come down into this 533.07 spot, or down here at what is the high of here? 524.61. You come over there, guys. We got to get bullish again. We got to do it. On the weekly and the monthly time frame, it's going to look real good down there. Okay? That is what we got over here on SPY. Now, coming over here to the smaller time frames, though, all right, 15-minute is what I like to watch. Okay? I actually was doing back testing, and I realized the only thing I'm going to be using this hourly time frame for is going to be when the 1 hour RSI is oversold. I was really just doing my back testing the other day, and yeah, I realized this time frame gives me more traps than not, just on what I watch. So I'm not going to be watching it. I'm gonna stick with what I got. Okay, I'm going to take my bias over here from the weekly. We're going to follow price action on the daily basis over here in the daily time frame. And then pretty much we're going to stick with the 15-minute time frame. And then obviously for scalps, I use the 5-minute, the 3-minute, and the 2-minute. 15-minute, I look for the larger setups to go over there, all right? There's that. We're going to take that off right there. It served its purpose. You started getting sellers over there, all right? But then you decide to hit it with that, and then you hit it with the Uno reverse. It's no longer relevant. It's not. All right. What I will point out that is relevant is you're now in our demand zone. All right. So you came right back down to it. You got the 15-minute RSI oversold. When we are over here, I was saying downside's limited. I also told you, guess what? Look for the bullish divergence to form. What happened? You came back down into that level, hit it with the 15-minute bullish divergence, and boom, you went off to the races. Okay. When we see these things, we're going to talk about these things. And right here, guys, what this is looking like, it's queuing up to me. All right. Maybe you get a little more sell. Okay. Maybe it starts coming right down here. Okay. Keep in mind, you're losing support. Okay. You're losing support. If you have this move down here, you're going to be losing support. It doesn't mean it has to go down like this. But from that point on, we're going to be looking for the bounce. That bounce right there, dead cat bounce. Okay. I don't know where that's going to, where the sellers are going to step back in here. But keep in mind, if you have this move, you lose support. Okay, so things could just get real ugly and spill over right there, and we could get something we haven't seen in a while, where one of these guys, where if you want to see what happened with price action over here, okay, where you're in oversold territory right there, what happens? You fall another like $4, $4 or $5. Okay, so that would be us, the equivalent of us being right here. Boom, you just start spilling. And you come all the way down here to 536.89, and then we bounce from there. So that is, it's possible. It just doesn't happen often. But guys, in this channel, we're going to be prepared for everything. And I've been saying it loud and clear. I think it is a time to be cautious. Okay, if you ripped faces, okay, if you got to ride a bunch of these tickers up, okay, you got to ride all of these big boys up. Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple. All right. I've been so vocal about this. It is time to take your deep freaking profits. Just sit on the sidelines. Okay. Size down. Okay. I'm not going to say, I'm the best at this, but I will definitely say I've done a decent ass job at just conserving the capital. All right. Through all of this crap that we've been going through, I knew that it was probably time to size, like very much so, just size down and take a lot less setups. Why? Because you got we had a massive ripperoonie on most of these things, and these they could either go a little higher and then pull back pretty big, or they pull back pretty big and then they go way higher. All right, which I think that second option, I think that's what we're gonna get on some of these charts. I'll point out we have so much charts to go over in this video. All right, but that's really SPY, guys. I'm looking for you to come down in here. Okay, maybe 542.62 around that level. Maybe you see a bullish diverge, right? It either goes how I was just shaping it up right there, or you get something like this. Okay, maybe it's like this. You slightly, sweep the lows over here, sweep some liquidity. Maybe get a little down. You come down to 542, right? 60 cents lower than your support, and people are like, we're going down. We're going to 540.30, and then you don't go to 540.30. You have the 15-minute bullish divergence, and then you rocket ship. All right, and then people are gonna be like, I'm getting back in, but they're gonna get back in right here. They're looking for a big old move here, and maybe you do get the big old move back up to your supply zone up here at 546.74 to 547.41. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't, and maybe they rug pull it from there, and then you continue your sell. Okay, so in reality, it's either going to happen like that, or you go a little up here, and then it probably happens like that. That's what I'm looking for this week. I am looking for lower prices. So that is how that would shape up. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, you come down here, you dance around, boom. Tuesday, you bounce back a little bit, you reset this oscillator back up here, and then boom, we have another decline. And from here, maybe we get down to 540, maybe we fall all the way down to 536, guys. Things could spill over. You guys see the move we just had. This is a massive move down. $7 intraday. All right, that's 1.5%. This thing is showing us that it has volatility right around the corner, and we very much so can see these large moves. Let's get it popping. All right, let's get it popping. QQQ, weekly chart. What do we got going on over here? And of course, monthly chart. Monthly did just close out. Okay, we're going into next week. It's going to be a new month. All right, it's going to be happy times. Happy times. New monthly candlestick. Guess what? Decreasing volume. I don't, pay attention to the monthly volume too much because I don't think it really matters. Look, decreasing volume, big candlestick, hit it with the stick. All right, I just follow the candlesticks. Yeah, okay. You have room for a big pullback here. But if you get that massive pullback, it's going to be such a big buying opportunity. The level that stands out to me on this chart right here is going to be right here. It's going to be boom, 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 460.58. Am I saying that's going to happen? No. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that would be your 4% decline. And if you are going to go through that decline, I think it's just going to set up for you to, either bounce right here, you come a little lower, you go $10 lower, and now it's like what would that be? A 6% drop from the top. All right. Now we're looking at an 8% drop. You're just going to come down over here, though. That's around that 6% mark. But yeah, 8%, guys. Well, over here, you saw 8%, and then you rocket shipped, okay? So that was actually just, almost a retest of over here. But as you could see, you start coming into major structure over here on the monthly and weekly time frames. You get buyers stepping in, and that's what I'm looking for, all right? So you come over here, the weekly time frame. I know things are a little hard to see right now, so we're going to just go like that. We're going to clean up that chart. Guys, shooting star candlestick. You got the gap up. You got that, and then boom. Sellers took control by the end of the week. Well, what happened? You also had a big move, $9 move there, and then sellers took control by the end of the week, all right? All in one day, might I add. The thing was crazy looking, all right? So, increasing volume on this candlestick, indecision candlestick with wide-bodied doji you got going on here. People took positions in the, indecision candlestick, so the candlestick is lying. I think they're a bearish position, judged by this daily time frame. Just putting it out there. All right, just putting it out there. We also could say the massive volume spike at the end of the week. All right, it's clearly higher than all of these other days. So, well, not Monday, all right? But Monday, sellers took their positions. They got squoze a little bit. They got tricked a little bit. And then, again, on Friday, sellers took their positions. And those are the two big candles, volume candles over here on the week. Bulls, they really didn't make too much of a dent this week. I'm just going to say right there, okay? But, yeah. What really stands out to me is this weekly level right over here, 465.74. From the current price, that would be a 2.8% decline. People are going to go crazy. Well, what are you going to have right down there, all right? You're going to have this weekly 9, and then right under that level, you have this, again, 3-week range you got going on here that, you popped your head above it, and boom, you ripped faces from that point, all right? These are the things that happen when we have these ranges and then you break down from them. You have these big moves, okay? Well, right here, we got a 2-week range. So there's that. I already pointed out we're just going to follow SPY's range because it's much more clear than QQQ's. You've been quite volatile here. All right, double top here. The neckline is going to be all the way at the low of this candlestick, which is 473.82. Which the level I'm watching is just going to be 474.42. That's what's clear to me. This was a trap. We're not going to respect this level. This was a trap. This was no trap. All right. This was clear, and you kept going from there. We know, it was normal price action going on. But yeah, on the weekly time frame, that's what I'm looking for, guys. Honestly, 465.74. That's what stands out to me. On the daily time frame, though, what do we got? Underneath this 474.42 level down here, you have absolutely nothing until 468.14 down to 465.74. That's going to be the zone you're paying attention to. But realistically, 465.74 because of what I just showed you on the weekly time frame. Okay. And if you really want to, really die over here, if you want to come all the way back down here, okay, 460.58 is what we pay attention to. All right. Now, intraday analysis. Let's run it. Okay. Let's run it. Golden pocket from there to there. You're right in the golden pocket. Okay. This is not the worst look in the world. I told you. Watch this uptrend. What happened when you lost the uptrend? You found a bounce off of it. Okay. You came back up the supply zone. You rejected off the supply zone. And then you started getting buyers here. Okay. And it was a little battle going on. And then boom, you spilled over. Okay. Into the end of the day. And what happened when you came down in support as well as the 0.618 fib, which was just the start of the golden pocket? Well, you had a nice old bounce. Okay. And if you didn't get that bounce, this RSI would probably be all the way down there and it would be setting us up for a bounce right away. And this is why, on SPY, I gave the path I did over there. You got a similar look over here on QQ where your 15-minute RSI is already down here. You see something like that form up. Okay. We're going to be looking for a bounce. And I do think it'll be a dead cat bounce. All right. I'm not looking for the most. I'm really not. I'm looking for something like this, literally like this to pop up, okay? You got down here, over here. You went a little lower. That would be the equivalent of us going from 478 down to like 477, okay? That would be that. You got a little lower. You got your bounce. You started bouncing. All right. It started getting this oscillator up. And then you came down. All right. You took out this low right here. Okay. From over here where you started in oversold territory, you then came down another $1.80. Okay. So that would be the equivalent of us coming right here. You bounce up here, just like that $2, just like we saw right over there. And then boom, you sell back down. You sell down maybe right here, okay? 476.50. It'll be right around the 0.786 fib. I like it. And from that point, you have your 15-minute bullish divergence. Maybe that happens end of Monday into Tuesday. And then what do you get? You get a move that catches people off guard, all right? And then you get a bounce, okay? Then you get from the low over here, what happened? You got a $3.70 bounce. And that's why I say dead cat bounce. But, you know, it's still enough of a move to make people start questioning stuff. But what are we doing? We know how the weekly time frame's looking. We know that sellers in control. We know on this bounce, they're probably going to smack you back down. All right. And from that point, we look for this 476.50 level to be taken out. And we're heading down to 474.42. Under there, we watch 468.14 down to 465.74. That's going to be the demand zone down there that we pay attention to. All right. But right here, guys, let's go over a little game plan for the week. You go a little lower. Get a bounce. Okay, you come up there. Oh, you go down there. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, you're losing support. Oh, boom. Now you have a 15-minute bullish divergence between that point and that point down here on the R side there. And it's going to be a little higher over there. All right, then what happens? Maybe you get your bounce. Maybe you confuse the crap out of a lot of people. But what if we just add a little bit of confluence here? What if we just add the golden pocket? And then if you do want to get that big dead cat bounce, you come right into the golden pocket, right into your supply zone, and boom. Then maybe you get some crazy downside action, all right? Regardless, this daily time frame doesn't suggest, you know, buyers are in control. The weekly time frame doesn't suggest buyers are in control. You guys can see that very clearly over here, 2 weeks in a row. I don't think, let's just take a moment. Let's back test ourselves, all right? Let's just look back. When have you had 2 bearish candlesticks back to back result in further upside? Can it happen? Like, I'm talking really bearish candlesticks. Look at these long wicks. Look at the upper wicks there, all right? But you got one right here. It was, you know, they fixed it by the next week, okay? You had one over here, you went down, all right? I'm not going to relate it to that because that's not what I'm looking at. We're looking at candles like this where we have like almost $10 of upside, and then you go like that because in reality, how big was that wick? That wick was $7. How big was that wick? That wick was above $8. All right. So we're watching things like this. All right. Things like that. This one, I see you went that. But guys, this is also after decline. Okay. Keep that one in mind. Yeah. Look at that. You got these large upper wicks. You started selling. All right. Oh, you got that. Okay. But where's the second one? Well, you got that and then you kept selling. Okay. You got that. You kept selling. We're not really, you know, we're not going to talk about this, but, you know, it's pretty similar over there. I don't think anything massive on the downside is coming. We're not in a bear market, guys. Let's be completely honest with ourselves about that one. It's very clearly not a bear market. I saw another company today, LLY, is almost up to $1 trillion market cap. We're seeing these market caps go insane. This ain't going to happen in a bear market, all right? So just be real with yourself on that one. It's not going to happen. Also, increasing volume on your indecision / bearish candlesticks. Again, not the best look. Okay, you had this massive green wide body bar off the decreasing volume. That was a bulls. That was the bulls in control. Well, they didn't really show up too much, and now the bears are starting to step up there. All right, so just, you know, volume price analysis. That is what we do here. Okay. Now, just to make it very clear here, we're going to move on. All right. Just make it very clear here. Boom, 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 boom. That. All right. That is my base case here until I see things change. Okay. You want to see the other bullish divergence? You had that one form over there. Well, what happened right here? You had that one, and then you had a big old bounce. They happen. They mean things. They lead to things. And then we play those things. There you go. All right, coming over here to IWM. Holy Jesus, we're 24 minutes in. This is going to be an hour-long video. That's how it is, all right? You got this downtrend going on over here, right? So that's something to point out. You do have that, but, you know, that's no use to us right now. We're going to watch that downtrend, all right? you got the downtrend going on. You got the bounce up from the golden pocket pretty much into the second golden pocket. That's how that went. If you put on extended hours, maybe you even got up there. You just did not. Okay, you just did not. You just didn't have enough oomph in your step. That's okay. You got this increasing volume. Small caps are going for a ride here. Okay, honestly, it don't look too bad to me on that daily time frame. Weekly time frame, still a slop fest. Okay, but you can see, you know, buyers were in control on this candlestick. That is how that went. All right, they pushed price up into the end of the day. I remember when I recorded my intraday update, things weren't looking like that. Let's see, you get that end of the day volume spike. Yes, you did. All right, recorded it somewhere over here. I don't remember where. All right, but that is that, guys. That is IWM. You're watching for a breakout from this downtrend, and if you do, you're watching for 207.09 to be hit. Okay, so above 205.06, you watch for 207.09. Honestly, not looking too bad out of the small caps at the current point in time. DIA. Still just avoid this thing. We're not spending time on this thing. We're not. Okay. I know you guys don't trade this thing because there's no reason. If you're an option traders, you got a liquid option chain. I hate trading this thing. All right. I hate it. And honestly, I don't want to mess with these futures because I don't know what the bias is here. You've been consolidating. You don't have a bias. It's neutral. We're not going to spend time in this guy. Moving on. VIX starting to pop back up. All right. Starting to pop back up. Does not look all that bad to me. What I will point out is you get this downtrend. All right. You're watching for an hourly close above that downtrend. Okay. Until you get that, you don't really have too much to be bullish on there because VIX likes to get slapped all around. Slapped real silly. All right. But, you know, if we're going to see what I pointed out over there, maybe we see something like that. Maybe it comes down and then, all right, then it does that, okay? This would be where your divergence formed, bullish divergence over on SPY we talked about, and then you get the dead cat bounce that brings that $3 to $4 move back up, okay, on SPY, not on VIX here, all right? So then you get that, and then when people are like, oh, stupid bears, we're in a bull market, then Henry's going to remind you, guys, all right, I'm also on the bull side, like, you know, but keep in mind, we talked about this, and yeah, that might just be a back test, that trend line, and then boom, that's when you get the big sell there that weekly and daily chart do suggest. Boom, bop, bing, boop, pow. That's Mr. VIX for you. That's all for today, folks, on Mr. VIX. All right, SMH, guys, it's not looking too pretty. You can't reclaim that daily 9. That is something you've been above for quite some time now. All right, you guys just want to see how long you've held that daily 9. It's been 50 whole days. All right, that's like 40. That's around 40 trading sessions. And guess what? You are underneath it right now. You've been consolidating underneath it. You're probably getting a move down into this golden pocket. And what did I tell you guys to pay attention to? You're watching this 4-hour RSI over here. Okay, so that is that. We're going to come over to NVIDIA, and I'm going to point out here on the daily time frame. You have a very clear range being built here. All right, you get this 3-day range. It's technically like a 3.5-day range, but you got this 3-day range. All right, a lot of the time, guys, we see this happen. All right, where one indecision candlestick marks the bottom of the range and the top of the range. So you mark that, and look at that. 3 days later, we're right in that range. We haven't freaking moved. All right, so what does that tell me? If you take out 122.60, if you move to the downside underneath that level, guess what? You're targeting 115.82. That's what clearly stands out to me on the 4-hour time frame. You can literally see you already came down and tested. It was just pre-market, so you didn't give your boy his entry that he was waiting ever so patiently on. I didn't want to take the early entry off of this crap. All right, I wanted to get down another like $2-3. What happened? You did it in pre-market, you little jerks. All right, but guess what? If you break above 128.12, we're going to be targeting 133.73 and then 140.76. Okay, now keep in mind, got this going on as well. 133.73, that's going to align with your golden pocket. So we definitely expect sellers here. If you're playing this breakout in the smaller time frames, you're playing with a weekly or next week's expiration call. All right, guess what? You're taking your profit right there. That's a big move. You're going to be up decent money right there. Just keep that in mind, guys. Take the money out the market, all right? There you go. That's something I'm getting better at with futures, all right? When I play something, I play a setup, or maybe I take a little early entry, I'm sitting in red, and then it gets back to break even, I get to sell around that break even point, or maybe like a $100 gain, and I'm like, crap, this is the setup I was waiting so long for. I wrote in my journal the other day about this. And I was like, this is something that's going to lead to losses over time. You got to just quit, get that behavior completely out of it. All right. And it ended up all right. It made me a decent chunk it made me like 300 or 400 extra bucks by the end of the day, just because I was out and I could, just trade the market with a clear mind. All right. Situation I get into, let's say this is the level. All right. I'm just going to point out. I'm going to draw it out for you, all right? So I'm waiting on it. It's coming down. It comes into my level, right? But I enter right here, okay? For some freaking reason, I enter right here. I have absolutely no... It's pure FOMO. There's no denying it. It's pure FOMO when I do it, okay? But that's why I was saying in the video, right? Sometimes I'm good with it. Sometimes bad with it. And whenever I'm good with it, all right? It sometimes tends to take some time. And when I'm bad with it, sometimes you have the NVIDIA situation happen. Like, I was looking for 115, didn't come down there, went to 118. All right. But yeah, so you enter right here and then boom, you see a candlestick right here, but it's really just putting in a 15-minute hammer candlestick, right? And it comes right back up. So during this time, you're sitting in the red and maybe you're down like $200-300. All right. And then guess what? All right. It comes back and now you're up right here. You're up like maybe $50. And do you take it off or do you sit? You take it off just because you entered on a bad thing. All right. Let's just be completely real. That's what my plan is moving forward. That's what I wrote down that I'm going to be doing. And at the end of the day, it was a bad entry because the entry was right here. Maybe by the time it got up here, maybe you should have been up $200, and maybe your drawdown only would have been like $200. Okay, but if you're just sitting there trying to get these quick little scalp setups, that's that. All right, but there you go. And then if it does give you the entry and you do see the setup that you were waiting on actually start to come, so what I'm saying is you don't sit in the loss, sell for break even, and then re-enter, because the re-entry is strictly off of FOMO. All right, so that's just some insight, some trader speak right there. I know we're all traders here at the end of the day, so I think people will appreciate that, because you're probably dealing with stuff on your own. All right, so guys, we all deal with this. It's trader psychology. I actually said it on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, guys, go follow the Twitter if you are not already over here. We just hit it with the chart storm. We do it every single Saturday into Sunday. And yeah, leave me your ticker requests. I'll say like, hey, good morning, guys. What ticker shall we cover today? Or what ticker shall we cover this weekend? And then, yeah, whatever it is, if there's 20, 30 tickers today, there's probably like 25 tickers. Yeah, we'll bust them all out at once, all right? You get your ticker request done once a week over there on the Twitter. So link will be down below, and there is that. All right. But yeah, I said it on my Twitter today. I was like, I'm really surprised I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm a millionaire yet. I'm just really surprised on that one. So many things just play out exactly like exactly how I did. I just watched so many charts that I'm like, I forget about some of these things, and then patience comes into play. And I just don't want to sit there buying time and just waiting on things. All right, but there's a crap ton of things that I consistently follow and I consistently call. And I remember just a few years ago, I was like, yeah, you're definitely gonna be a millionaire by this point. It sometimes just surprising. All right, we call price action very, very, very clean. All right. And that's when I was just talking about the trader psychology. Guys, that is the, key concept that we all seem to forget about. All right. You can't just it's in Trading in the Zone. I'm rereading Trading in the Zone. I continuously read that when I, want to get back into my groove, back into my zone. All right. And guys, we got some, short setups setting up here, and I want to take advantage of them. So there's that. All right. I want to get into my zone. And, I tend to get scared on the short side. So, I want to flow with these charts, all right? I might be really good on the charts, but I want to flow with the charts, okay? No fear, no bias, no nothing. We just want to take our money, get out, all right? And continuously just rinse and repeat constantly, okay? But yeah, charts, guys, like I said, 80 to 90% accuracy with like insane accuracy on some of these things. And then the other half of the equation is your trader psychology, all right? So that's really something that we're all going to need to consistently work on. So if you're not consistently working on it, just know you're missing half of the equation, and you'll never get a full equation, okay? Like 50 plus X equals 100. Well, you have to fill in the 50, all right? You have to fill in for X. X is your trader psychology. That is that, okay? All right, moving on. AMD, we talked about in the video over there, but AMD right over here. Okay, guys, what are we going to be paying attention to over here, guys? You got your breakout, increasing volume. I like the look of this thing, but we know AMD's a troll. I'm going to say this thing does look like it's going to continue higher up to this 172.49 level. And that's what I'm paying attention to. I think that it's incoming. Okay. Maybe all these other chips don't do it, but I do think this thing's going to get some upside. SMCI. Congrats if anybody played on this move. Congrats if anybody played the 822.58 54 822.54 retest, and you got another almost, what was that, $70 move? Yeah, so you got a $70 move off that in one day. All right, but what happened now? You fade the whole move, right? You see where my circle is there? You see where my circle is down there? All right, so we are in the golden pocket. That is where you look for buyers to step in. You're also right at your breakout zone, right at support. All right, if you do give up 800, which I am just going to say looks very likely from this point in time, if you give that up, all right, we're going to be targeted down here around 755.55. Maybe you sweep underneath that level right there, but this 4-hour RSI at that point should be all the way down here at 30. And at that point, I'm going to buy. All right, I'm going to buy with some time. We're talking 30 to 68 days out, baby. We're going to actually catch what I missed over here because I decided to freaking enter somewhere over here, and I just wasn't patient enough to wait the week. And what happened? Well, you rocket shipped, and that would have been, you know, probably like an 8 to 10x trip. It could have been more. I stopped looking at one point. All right, but there was that. So yeah, it's opportunities are coming. We just need that pullback. Okay, TSM guys. This is another one that's just not looking good. SMH just all around. They're all just looking just like this, right? You're rejecting off your level up here. All right, golden pocket. You're also rejecting that, if I'm remembering correctly. You're right around it. Okay. Guess what? This thing does look like it's going to continue pulling back, and the level that really stands out to me is 160.78. So I really hope we get it. But on all of these guys, 4-hour RSI. That is what you pay attention to. You see where my alert is down there, right? You could do this if you do. You know, if you want to do the same exact thing that I'm doing, just wait for these pullbacks. To, you know, where you have a really clean buying opportunity down here, and you just buy a ton of time. Okay, on some of these strong names, some of these strong companies that you know, they're not in the garbage. They're not an AMD that is just a troll continuously. They're not that. Okay, NVIDIA, TSM, MU, all right, Coinbase, all right, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, all of these things follow this pattern. You can do the same thing for you, and you can multiply a large sum of money with confidence if you just wait and buy 30 to 60 days out when you get that opportunity, preferably that 60-day mark. There you go. MU, okay? You're coming right down to where I want you. Right down, all right? I took a start over here. I wanted to take the position right over here. I want to see this thing get oversold, honestly, okay? I want to see something where I can, you know, confidently know that, hey, you're getting a steep discount on this bad boy, all right? Maybe you're going to have to wait it out. But guys, I like these August calls. I do. All right, I like the August 140 calls. I like the August 150 calls. 140 calls are expensive, so keep that one in mind. If you're laddering into that position, and hey, all right, if you don't have the largest bankroll, then, you know, pick cheaper contracts. So then you have a ton of contracts that you can scale out of along the way. Because, you know, if you just have one and you go right here and you come back up to, we'll say 140, and now you're up like, you know, 80%, but you know you're probably going higher. Well, don't you, you know, wish you had like 2 or 3? It's preferably, my sweet spot is 3. Okay. I like 3 to 5 contracts. So then you could just continuously scale. All right. That is something that I like. All right. But that is the chips that we will be covering here. I'm going to be talking about AVGO lastly on these chips, actually. Okay. So you can see what I see right here. Rejected the 9 EMA. You got sellers stepping in on Friday. After this consolidation, you swept the high over there. So like I said on SPY, you swept the top of the range. Well, typically when I see that, you come to the bottom of the range. All right. So boom, you're going to be watching for that underneath 1564, 1564. You watch for a move down to 1438.17. But let's say you don't get down there in this 4-hour RSI is sitting down there, and it's right here at, you know, around 1500. I'm going to start a position. Okay. And, you know, maybe I'm going to have to wait. But I think, you know, by before this, I think you're going to start this bounce. You have a decent amount of days. It's not the most for 2 weeks on the clock. All right. I'm actually going to have to see if do you guys know about this? All right. So I know NVIDIA options. If you own NVIDIA options like calls before the split, how did that go? All right. How did that go? Did you get more of the calls when they got really cheap? Or, hey, did your money just go to zero and you had to re-enter NVIDIA calls? How was it? Okay? Or puts, who cares? NVIDIA options in general, how was it? Because I have never sat through something like that. I just see, you know, a crap ton of new expirations and stuff, or not expirations, new strikes. And I'm like, holy crap, that's crazy. All right. AVGO, though, this is going to be a crazy mover if it could get cheaper. It's already a crazy mover. It's gonna do what NVIDIA is doing. People thought the volatility, including me, was going to fade over there on NVIDIA. No. The thing is still a beast. Okay. But yeah, you watch for that pullback right there. And there you go. Bitcoin. What are we watching, guys? What are we watching? We're going to watch this downtrend. Okay, so we got that loading up right there. If you could break above the downtrend, you got a bunch of touch points here, here, and here. If you could break above there, and then you get above 62,458, that is when you have a clean shot all the way up to 66624. We're going to say that differently, 66,624. That sounds better. It sounds way better, guys. All right, we're positive people here on this channel. We're building a kick butt community. I really do appreciate the crap of you guys, right? You guys bring me a lot of joy on a daily basis, all right? I appreciate you guys. We got a kick butt community going here. We got our little corner of YouTube. And, you know, over time, guys, I hope, you know, the early people who are here, we came up as traders together, all right? And in the end, we're going to be rich, all right? We're going to be really freaking rich. I mean, I know I'm going to be really freaking rich, but, you know, I hope you guys are all coming with me, okay? Let's be completely real. We cover, you know, like this is a trader's paradise on this channel. I don't think there's another channel out there like that. And maybe there is, all right? But, you know, if there's someone who consistently just, you know, just hammers down like 10 to 20 trade ideas per week that you consistently have to watch, like clean, all right? Like pretty much every single trade idea that's on the market, all right, guys? I got a pretty extensive list that I go over, especially on these weekly updates. We have so many going into it. All right. Bitcoin, though, that's what I'm watching for, guys. I think downside is limited. I'm going to start scaling into to Bitcoin miner stocks. Coin, this is one that I really want. Okay, but premiums just make it so not worth it for me. Okay, I'd much rather scale into something with time like CLS. Nope, that's the wrong one. CLSK. CLSK and MAR are the next ones that I think are low. And RIOT's actually looking really good right now, so we're going to talk about that in a bit. But what I want to point out here is, guys, you came down to the 0.786 fib. Congrats if you already played like a $10 to $15 bounce there. Congratulations, okay? But now you got the increasing volume. You got a hammer candlestick / pin bar candlestick. That's what I call these. If you ever hear me say pin bar candlestick, it means you have a larger lower wick than the upper wick, but a hammer, typically, you don't have that upper wick. This one, pin bar, you have the upper wick. It's just not even close to the size of the lower wick. So that's what I, mean when you hear me say that. All right, guys. So we already do have the trade plan in place. All right, but I am going to, I'm going to move that right there. Okay, there is that right there. If you can take out 22576, you got these 2 days of consolidation here. You have an inside day. You take out 22576, you probably have a straight shot up to 23423. That's what I'm really paying attention to. And slightly above that level, which you probably get to if you can get to here, is 239.53. There's your trade plan going into next week on coin. All right. In reality, this thing's looking pretty freaking juicy. It is. And, when this thing starts doing this, I was hoping you get a bullish divergence here to go off of. When this thing's over here in the gutter and you come down to a key point like this, okay, 0.786 fib, if you're not in the channel, you know how we roll. Okay. That is when you start scaling into a position right there. All right. Just like I was showing you guys, I was waiting on the chips. Well, guys, Coinbase is another one that respects this pattern continuously. You get down here, this is where you get your bounces, okay? They don't have to lead to the biggest bounces. You typically you'll be getting your bounces, okay? That is that. As you saw, that one wasn't the biggest one, and you fell off a freaking cliff, all right? But in the end, you put in this bullish divergence as of right here. What happened? And you started basing, okay? Then you came down, you really tapped your breakout level, okay? Because over here, you didn't hit it. You didn't hit it over there. In the end, you had this big bullish diverge going on here, and then you rocket chipped, all right? Coin, tricky one, but guys, it's bullish. It's not bearish. It's not looking like, you're going to range down here, okay? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you're probably going to, start pushing up from here, if I had to take a guess. So that's what I'm watching over on coin. CLSK, though, this is one that I know is loading up right now, okay? Now, over the next few months, this thing's probably going to go for a ride, but I think even in the short term, this thing probably comes down here and then goes for a ride. 1560, that is the level that I've been saying to watch, okay? You're watching the 4-hour RSI down here as well. You're just kind of bouncing off of, you know, the spot where you start getting a lot of these bounces, okay? But in the end, I think you're going to come down here, and that's when I'd really like to go heavy on this one, and I'd like to ride it back up, all right? I would like to ride it, specifically what stands out to me. All right, let's put a level on the chart. First things first, obviously you have the highs there. I would love to take it from the low of the range to the top of the range. Right off the bat, that would be the target. Okay, but what other level stands out to me? 1796. If you get here, you bring this move, that's $2. You buy August cons, okay? You should be up 50 to 100% just on that move. You put 4 grand down here, you're up 2 grand right here, minimum. August, 60-day calls. It's safe. So what if it does this move in the end? So to me, so what? All right. I understand other people, they're different. Okay, they're different with their money, but you know, I guys, you know, I see what I see on the charts, and if I'm confident in something, I don't got a problem. It's just, you know, loading the boat with time. I like it. It's been a thing to work with me on some of these stickers over the past. All right. If you see that, who cares? I might throw another 1 to 2K in down here, and then boom, now you have a way bigger gain. Okay? That's how I see it. The cheaper this gets, the more gain you got. Okay? Let's say you buy in right here. We'll just say you're buying cons for $200. All right? $200. They go all the way down to $100. You're like, crap. That's half the money. Crap. Well, how I'm going to look at it, you just came down to a massive weekly demand zone. Okay, this is where you want. This is exactly where you want to be really putting on the most size down there. Okay, but even if, you know, you put 4 grand here, you're down 2 grand here, you throw an additional 2 grand right here, and by the time you get back up here, because you felt 50%, and because it happened really quick, probably in like a day or two, that move would happen. All right, no theta's being suffered there. 2 days out of 60 days is not going to kill you on a contract, okay? So because no theta is being suffered, you enter the 2 grand right there. You get them half price, 50% discount, and then by the time you get back up here, now you're up to 2 grand additionally, and you're back to like the stuff you were already down the 2 grand on, the 4 grand position right here. Guess what? You're back to break even right here. Okay, so additionally, you're up 2 grand, and by the time you come all the way up here, now you have 8 grand in the freaking position. All right. And what happens from that point? Then, well, now you're up maybe another 4 grand. And somehow your 4K position that you planned on right here turns into 12K in the end just by here at our conservative target. You get all the way up here. Well, now you're looking like big freaking kahunas. Maybe you're up, you know, 150, 200% on really dated calls there. And oh, what happens? Okay. What happens? You were break even right here. Okay. You break even right here. You got what is that? What did I just say? 8K position. You got the 8K position. Well, if you're up 200% right here, do the math. You're at 24,000 freaking dollars. All right. So, you know, on these setups that I wait patiently for, Amazon was one, you know, in the past. Oxy was another that, you know, it wasn't as heavy on that as Amazon. All right. But these are setups that when I see things, I'm going to just, you know, I'm going to start loading the freaking boat. All right. I'm going to start loading the boat. Like, this is what I'm talking about, dog. This is what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm hyped about CLSK. I think something bigger is loading. I'm not heavy on it by any means right now, but I'm getting ready to, and that's that. All right, Mara, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. As you can see, I'm excited about that one. I've been waiting patiently on it, all right, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. All right, Mara is another one that I almost jumped the gun and started buying the August, I think it was the August 22 strike I was going to start getting into. Whichever one was around $200. I think it was that one though. Guess what? I think this thing is also another one that's getting ready. But, you know, am I saying it's giving me a juicy entry like CLSK? No, which is why I'm probably, you know, not even going to go heavy on something like that. I don't want to, right? That's a short-term play. If we get this move, I'm going to play in the short term. I'm not going to be, you know, loading the freaking boat on this thing. This thing is, you know, trolled for quite some time in here. But clear as day, something big's loading over here out of Mara. And, you know, if Bitcoin rebounds, and now that Bitcoin is all the way down here, and Mara really hasn't moved at all, guess what? if it rallies back up, Mar is probably going to get the buying pressure because you have an equivalent amount of buying pressure down here as selling pressure, as everything should get more selling pressure. Mar is not moving down. So what happens when Bitcoin moves up and now you have more, the selling pressure that was over here that is here, and the buyers are just, they're even with it. Well, what happens, all right? Now you have double the buying pressure, and now you actually see Mar ride all the way up to 25 bucks, all right, in those August. I already did the math for you, okay? If they're the cons I'm thinking of right now, you get to this $25 target right there that I got on my chart. That is the point when, your 22 strike, 816 calls, they're going to be at over 100%. There you go. All right. And in the end, I think you're going to have a clean ride all the way back up to 29 to 32 bucks. Okay. At that point, you're up like 300% on that. And there you go. Boom, bop, bing, boop, pow. Easy safe play for you. Gotcha. RIOT though. All right. I do think this thing is loading down here. You are coming down here. You got the, you're coming down here to support. I just said you're coming down here. You're coming down here to support. You're holding it. Okay. I know it looks a little sloppy, but you got the hammer candlestick stepping up. Not a big candlestick by any means, but you got really heavy volume going on. All right. I do think, like, look at this wide body bar here, minus 8%. This one is a plus 0.22% candlestick, but you got the same exact volume. Some big guy or multiple big guys took their position right here in this candle right here. All right. So that's what I'm making very clear here. The top of the range on RIOT right now is all the way up here at like 11 bucks. We're going to call it. We're going to actually we're going to come over here, come over there. There. We're going to do that one right there. All right. So 11.17 is the top of the range. Down here, I'm going to say this is the bottom of the range. Okay, we'll use that right there. All right, so you're at the bottom of the range. You have a chance here to get a 20% gain to the top of the range, and if Bitcoin is going to go, and this thing does some crazy things, well, maybe in 2 days it happens, something like that, like happened recently. All right, and then, let's say Bitcoin does break out to new high. RIOT starts going insane, and you got a really cheap entry. So congratulations in advance. All right, if you're playing this thing. I'm not going to be playing this thing. I told you what I'm going to be playing. CLSK and Mara is on my my radar over there. All right, guys, I understand we're already at a 52-minute video. We're going to do such a freaking speed round right here. I understand. But, the things we just took a look at, I think the 52 minutes is justified. All right, we just detailed. We talked money in detail right there. Specific plans that you could be, paying attention to these big boy companies that a lot of liquidity is in. All right. You got a lot of market participants. They're not going nowhere. Now we're going to talk about Henry's trade ideas. We're going to hit it with the speed round. First things first, Carvana, guys. If you do see the pullback into 115, I like it so freaking much. You're already getting the break and retest here. But if you look here on the weekly time frame, you can see that you're just riding this uptrend here and you have nothing. I told you guys a while back, if you get above this level 97.70, you have nothing until you get all the way up to 219. All right, that's insane. Okay, so you see that pullback. I think it's getting ready for another move up. You see this big volume spike right there. Got the pullback. Okay, maybe it takes some time. Maybe it's a slow pullback. If it's a slow pullback, that's what we like to see. Okay, you get these volume spikes right here. Okay, you went a little higher, so maybe we do go a little higher. But in the end, I think you're going to pull back, and I think it's going to set up real nicely for us. So that's what I'm paying attention to over on Carvana, 115. Okay, I really like it in the short term if you revisit 115, and let's just say you don't hold right there, okay, which you probably will. It's the golden pocket right there. All right, if you don't hold there, 108. That's your 0.786 fib, and if you want to see, a little study case right there, or that's not the word for it. Can this magnet go away for just like 2 seconds here? Thank you so much. All right, you came right back down into your 0.786 fib. That's where you found buyers, and then you rocket shipped, all right? So Carvana, that is number one. PLTR, guys. PLTR here on the weekly time frame. You can clearly see you have this bearish candlestick. It's now getting faded by the bulls. Very similar candlestick to PNW over here, where you, on the daily time frame, you have this down here, and then it got soaked. All right, you soaked it over the next 2 trading sessions, and then boom, it resulted in a big gap up. Congrats if anybody made money off of that, by the way, all right? Definitely we're watching that one here on this channel as well in the Discord. That's what I was paying attention to. All right. Actually, quick little plug, guys. If you did make it this far into the video, just know I will be doing because we got July 4th going on, I will be doing the lifetime membership 50% off discount. All right, so the discount code, it is going to be down below in the description. You can click on the link down there as well. It's right underneath the Twitter one. But yeah, it's going to be code July 4. All right, not July 4th, but July 4. It is 50% off of the lifetime membership. So instead of $1,600, you can get it over the next few days for $800, and you can get, unlimited trade ideas, unlimited trading. All right, like I'm just gonna say, if you trade SPY QQ or ES or NQ, yeah, that's gonna be a gold mine for you consistently around the clock. All right, I will be trading futures with you every single day, and that is that. All right. So there's that, as well as just, options, stuff like that. But like I said, all right, I think I mentioned in yesterday's video, guys, when you should be cautious, okay, in the stock market, it's not a bad idea to start trading more futures, okay? Like, I'm going to be doing it from 9:30 to 11:30 every single day. I will be sitting at my desk trading futures. So that is the plan moving forward. So that's already my plan. But, hey, put more focus on your futures trading or your short-term scalp trading if you know that it's not the right move to be swinging right now. If it's not the move to be heavy swings, just don't do the heavy swings, okay? Just focus on something else for the time being, guys. Patience, and the market will keep giving us these opportunities where we can keep multiplying our money, stacking up the accounts, all right? PLTR, though, breakout from this weekly bull pennant here. We called it out at the bottom here. I know for a fact we did right over here. Okay, you got that. We called it out again over there. Guess what? That was right at the bottom of your demand zone. You found buyers stepping in, okay? And at the end of the day, you had this. So, it was a very obvious setup over there. But yeah, now in the weekly time frame, you've broken out of this bull pennant. I think you are heading up to 27.50 to 29.29. SOFI, all right? Buyers are stepping up off of low volume. So, I'm avoiding this one right now. I'm not avoiding it. I'm watching it, but I'm not going to be playing it. I took myself out of it. All right. But yeah, this thing right here, you can see you have this little base going on over here. You just broke above it off of that increasing volume here on Friday. Again, weekly time frame. I know we don't have the heaviest volume here. It's not the best look. But I do think something big is loading for SoFi over here. And, you just even hit this first level right here. That's 16%. All right. SoFi contracts, they don't take a lot to move. IV is going to pump on a move. Like you get something like that where you get a 13% move in 1 week. You get those cons pumping like crazy. All right. So we got SoFi there. RIVN, as you could see, this massive volume over here off of some news. Okay. Very bullish news, might I add. You came up here to our supply zone. You sold off right from the supply zone. Now it looks like you are going to backtest where you broke out from at 1246, guys. This is going to be a top watch for myself. I like this. I think this is getting ready, and it reminds me of Hood. All right, I've been watching Hood for a while now, and yeah, it reminds me of something that Hood likes to do sometimes, where it breaks out and then comes back for the retest. It breaks out off of news specifically. All right. And I do think, maybe it's a slow mover back up, but I do think you're going to get a positive reaction right down there. And if not, it's going to be the gap fill over at 1204. Schwab. All right. I see a little with my little eye. I see an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. Okay. You got that going on right there. And here's going to be your neckline. So 74.67 above there. You look for a move into the golden pocket. That's a little short-term trade setup for you going into the following week. CELH, this is one that on the weekly time frame is holding a key support over there. On the daily time frame, what do you got? You hit it with the break and retest off the downtrend breakout. All right, putting a hammer there. Okay, and now you are starting to reclaim support. And as you see on the weekly, you closed above that support with the hammer candlestick off of increasing volume. Okay, I really like the look of this thing. That's that. I'm not going to say I'm going to, play it. I'm not going to be swinging it. I'm going to play in the short term if I play it. But yeah, I do think this thing is probably a candidate to move against the market. All right, so if market moves down, CLH probably moves up. I'm not saying that correlation is just there. I'm just saying I've been playing this thing for a while now, ever since it broke out from this. All right, I'll just mark it on my chart. It's broke out from that guy. I've been playing it, and then you hit it with that, and then that guy. All right, either way, it was a sexy setup back then. We got a bunch of sexy setups that come up, and this is just the next one over on CELH. Tesla, guys, massive weekly breakout here. As you can see, all my lines. All right, you have this trend line you're following up, this uptrend. Okay, you watch for that to hold. If you do pull back, you see where my circle is right there. If you pull back into this area, I'm looking to buy that area. Okay, so, you know, I've been avoiding Tesla. I've been calling Tesla, though. We've definitely been calling the shots over here on Tessie. I have not been playing it because it's like AMD with me. All right, this thing is known to troll me. Okay, so if I get the entry that I want, which is in between 187.56 and 191.08, you get a 191.08 retest. That's going to line with, you know, maybe you wick down to the inverse head and shoulders neckline. Maybe you hit this white trend line with the hammer candlestick. That is a nice long opportunity right there. All right, regardless, I'm looking for a move up to 217 to 238. I think 230 is incoming. That's going to be right around this trend line right up here. All right, so 230 over the coming weeks. I think that's coming over here on Tessie. All right, ZOM. Okay, this is one that's stalling out right here at the downtrend. This thing is getting ready for a break. If it pulls back, okay, the pullback is going to be the opportunity to long it for the breakout. Okay, so it's just something I thought I'd throw in there. Right there. It would be off of the 112.62 level right there. We're going to take that level off the charts just to declutter it. You already broke out from that fallen wedge slash, you know, parallel channel you got going on there. Okay. But yeah, so it's not really looking all that good right now, but it's looking good, but it's looking like it's probably going to pull back here. You pull back, I'm long on that opportunity. All right. 112.62. Another one we could watch over here is COP. Okay. This thing is honestly looking way sexier, okay? You come over here, you already broke out from your major downtrend there. This is one that took a very long time. Okay, it's 60 days, 2 months. You think the breakout's going to last 4 days? Very similar to Oxy, what we have over here, okay? And you guys see what happened over there. But yeah, I really like this thing. So you have resistance right here. You're struggling at it. If you pull back, the level I would be paying attention to is right over here at 111.20. So 111.20, that's what I will be paying attention to. The golden pocket will be down there. I like it, and I like it for a move, you know, above there. And then once you're above there, you're looking at that level. Once you're above there, you look for that. And, you know, in the end, hey, if we see all these things really go for a ride, yeah, you could see something like that, okay? But that is that over there. TLT. TLT is one that, hey, nasty sell, but I'm going to point out a spot to be paying attention to. You had this major 3-month downtrend break. No, not 3 months. This is 6 months. Jeez Louise, man. 5.5 month downtrend break. You think you're not going to get buyers when you come back into it? I think you're probably going to get buyers when you come back into it, all right? So you are paying attention to around, I know, you know, it's not, we don't have a level to go off of here, but let's go off of this. Golden pocket test. You see $90, 90 to 91. Buying opportunity, in my opinion, over here on TLT, but then a move back up here. Okay. Uber. Hot setup. A+ setup right here. Increasing volume on Friday. We told you guys on this pullback. We told you from all the way back over here. Just don't get it twisted. You had the bullish divergence going on. All right. It took some time, like some of these other sets that we call out here on this channel. But hey, the big swing sets, those are the ones that they take time. Okay. Uber over here, though, on the pullback recently, we were saying, hey, this is just going to create a right shoulder on this inverse head and shoulders pattern. If you come back up, you got a neckline of 73.66. Guys, you break above 73.66, this thing's probably going to go for a decent, you know, little ride here. 76.56 is going to be the next level to pay attention to. Above there, you got all the way up at 78.85. All right, there's that. A little momentum trade if you can get above there for the week. SQ. Big breakout loading, A+ setup in my personal opinion, right? But big breakout is loading. You also have this little inverse head and shoulders kind of structure to it. I like the looks of this thing a lot. All right, if you can get above, if you get a breakout, okay, and then above 66.96, I think you have a straight shot to 69.57. I'm interested in short-term calls in this one. This one I'm going to be paying close attention to. All right. And, you know, in the end, this thing could hit it with the big reversal. We've seen, you know, these big pullbacks, they get bought up. Okay. I'm not talking about this. We're not talking about that at all. All right. We're talking about that. Probably make it back up to the golden pocket there. And that's going to be all the way at $77. All right. But yeah, you break above 69.57. Okay, where's the next spot? 73.55. That's a decent ways away, all right? So above here pretty much triggers a trade up to here. I like it. All right. Oxy, we already talked about it. Did we talk about it? On this move down, if you break this uptrend right here, all right, I'm going to be watching 61.26. That's going to be the double bottom neckline. You come back for the second retest right there. I expect buyers, but you know, let's just say you don't hold right there. Golden pocket, you can come all the way down from 60 to 60.90. That's that. SMCI, we already covered that one with the chips earlier. FSLR, you started to break it down right here on this uptrend. Okay, your daily RSI is going to be coming into oversold territory. Underneath 232, guys, you know, the original trade idea I threw at you guys was underneath 2. So this is actually on the focus list. That's why I'm disappointed about this one. I'm going to be completely honest. All right. This is one that, you know, oh boy, it would have paid. Oh boy. All right. I think it was on the focus list somewhere up here, honestly. And then, yeah, you got this. And then guess what? As you could see, yeah, under 261.21, it did end up being a straight shot down to 232. You had no support. It was no structure in between here. I was like kind of screaming about this one. And then guess what? You came all the way back down to 232. It did align with this uptrend right here. Okay. Underneath that uptrend though, underneath 232 support in that uptrend, you have absolutely nothing until 199.10. So if you see 199.10, I'm looking to buy there. I understand it will look weak if you have this massive move down after the massive move up. Okay, I understand. That will give back this whole thing. But you probably get some buyers here for that short-term trade. Maybe that's a 20-point pop. All right. Next one we're talking about is hood. On the weekly chart is where I like it. Okay. You got the increasing volume on the week. You bounced off of. You have this pin bar candlestick right here. You bounced off of your weekly 9 EMA. I like the set. You're in consolidation clears day. You got 4 weeks of consolidation now. But as you can see, you swept the low of that range. Okay. And then, you know, it looks like you're probably going to head up to the high. You got this fair value gaps in from 23.74 to 26.57. At 26.57, that will be filled. That's going to be the target of this next leg up. And that is that. All right. If you're not new to the channel, you know what we're talking about down there. Okay. I think you hit it with the, you got this big move up there, right? You got the big move up. Guess what? All right. Now you're consolidating, just getting ready for the next move. Okay. That's that. AMZN. All right. AMZN. You come down into here, 188.35 to 191.70. I really like it. Okay. I really like it. And I just realized, guys, we didn't look at the big boys. We did not look at Amazon, Microsoft, GOOG, Apple, and that. All right. So, yeah, we'll do that right now. Amazon. Yes, guys, there is going to be timestamps down below in this video because it is such a long video. There you go. But Amazon 188.35 to 191.70. I really like it. I'm going to be buying it if we see it. Okay. Right there is at the golden pocket, specifically 188.35. I'm going to start, you know, really getting in there. But yeah, I think this thing is going higher. Okay. You got the heavy volume on the week. I understand you have the large upper wick going on there. You know, you see my targets above. I think there are going to be hit. You had all this consolidation. Okay. 70 days, 2 months of consolidation. Do you really think it's going to be over in 1 week? I don't. And it's more specifically, do you really think it's going to be over in 3 days? I don't. I think you're going higher from here. Well, after you test over here. And you're also going to have that uptrend. You have uptrend, you have golden pocket, you have horizontal support, you got your breakout zone. Guys, that is 4 levels of confluence. Okay? I really like that. Okay. QCOM, I'm just going to point out where I like it. All right. This is in the setup right now. Okay. This is one we're going to be talking about, though. You come into this 184.31 level. I like it there. 177.59 to 184.31. I think you hit it with a long-term bottom. All right. It's going to be one of these before a big rip. From that point, yeah, you probably do get a $30 rip. But it's going to be down here. Okay. GS. Giant bull flag. Just props to anybody who's playing it with us over here. Okay. And then it rocket shipped. I remember that guy took off without me. But it did end up going picture perfect over there. You did end up pinning with the break and retest, and you straight up rocket shipped over the following 3 weeks. Okay. Now it's consolidating. It's on the daily 9. You got a bull flag going on. Bull, you know, ascending broadening wedge or descending broadening wedge. That's a bull structure. If you pull back into 426.16, that's what I really would want. All right. I would really like it. It would remind me of this where you're just flat, boom. You do that, you bounce right back up. I think you probably get buyers off of that level, or you come down to here, 419.20. Okay. So in between here and there. Buy zone. Buy zone. I like it. GOOG. You hit target number 2, 186. Okay. In the books, now you got this rising wedge going on over here. Okay. You do have the rising wedge. You got the increasing volume on Friday's candlestick. Not the best look right there. You're stalling right at from our extension level up there. If you want to see what it is. All right. Right there. Stalling out at it. You're in the rising wedge. You come back into 179.95. I think you probably get at least a dead cat bounce. That is where you had, a month of consolidation here. Okay. A whole month of consolidation. You're probably not going to finish that breakout in just 1 week. Come down into it. You look for buyers there. Maybe they bring you back up for like a $4 to $5 bounce at least. And that is that. Now on the weekly chart though, the level that stands out to me is going to be all the way down here at 173.47. And then if you really get a pullback, which I think is so unlikely for you to come back down here, 161.70. That's that. LLY. All right. LLY is something that is just doing something like that. Okay. Bearish trade idea for you. Break down from this channel, all right, this ascending parallel channel, and get a daily close on that daily 9. All right, guys, it's going to probably come all the way down here to 838.28. That is a big move, okay? Let's just say it's right here. Okay, right here, that's $20, okay? So let's say it just closes right over here. You get that, you enter, okay? You scale out right there. And then you get to leave some for that big boy. All right. So I do think it's something that is loading a pullback. This thing could pull back pretty quick when it happens. I think it's getting ready. Just like FSLR over here. It was really freaking good until it started stalling out. Okay. Well, LLY looks like, hey, judge it by Friday. You get the increasing volume over there. You got sellers, supporting this candlestick. Looks like you probably at least get a pullback over here. And if you get down there, you get a daily close on the 9 EMA. That hasn't happened in a very long time here. Okay, you haven't gotten a daily close since this day right there. That's a month and a half. Okay, so you get that. We probably have this move loading. And that is that. All right, guys, now to just quickly do the speed run through these big boys. All right, Microsoft, I gave my warning in Friday's video. Okay, I did. I also gave in Thursday's video, I believe. This thing right here looks like it is breaking down. No, it wasn't Friday's video, right? I did the early video, I think. But it was before we got this big move down. All right. Oh, you got it right at the end of the day. Of course it was before that big move down then. Okay, look at that, guys. If I do the intro updates, all right, it's, the info that I say, even if some price change, guys, I talk about my TA. I talk about the price action, what to look for, what to expect. This thing looked like it was getting ready, all right? You had this little fallen wedge thing going on over here, all right? Some of these things look like they could fall decently if they started to break down. This thing is one that just started to break down, all right? You got an ugly daily candlestick here. You got this like 1.5 week range, it looks like, okay? Yeah, 1.5 weeks. Came down, you're at the bottom of it, okay? You start giving up this level right here, okay? 446.41. You have a clean shot all the way down here. That's a $3 move right there. Okay, but in the end, I really, really hope it comes back to revisit 433.60. I will buy the crap out of it with some time there. I will. All right, but yeah, you guys could see this thing's very strong. You get the pullback into this, like you have no reason not to be bullish there. All right, so that's that. We just covered that one. We covered Amazon. We covered GOOG, Apple. All right. And then Meta we have to cover after this. Guys, this is one that is just building this range of consolidation here. You have sellers right at the 0.786 fib stepping in. Okay. And now you're coming down to that daily 9. You get the false breakdown before. Guess what? You break under 206.59. That's when you finally do get this move. Clear as day. Down to 199.62. That's all I'm paying attention to over on Apple because this thing definitely looks bearish to me. Meta. The last one we're going to be covering today. All right. Looks like you are coming down for the break and retest, okay? Where you had this downtrend going on. It was getting tight. All right, little bull flag action. Looks like you could come down to the 496.01 level, and you probably do find buyers there. Okay, now if you don't find buyers there, you're getting the opportunity that I told you guys about for quite some time before this move up. Okay, I thought you were probably gonna, looked like you were gonna be coming down here, and then we're gonna get a massive buying opportunity, and then I could ride it up. Guess what? Now it looks like you're gonna be getting it. Okay, and from that point, there would be a $40 move down. You have this 4-hour RSI right there. If you somehow get down here, it's going to look like that guaranteed. All right. I'm going to buy the crap out of it. That's that. But yeah, guys, that's really all I'm watching over here on Meta. All right. 496.01. That looks like it's definitely going to be tested. That would be your break and retest off the trend line, downtrend right there. A little downtrend. What, week and a half? Yeah. 2 weeks right there. 2-week downtrend. Okay. Retest. You break through that level though. 482.50. There you go. All right, guys. Anybody else seeing The Quiet Place that just came out today? Anybody else seeing? I think it just came out today. I got tickets for tonight. I'm excited. It's going to be cool. It's the origin story, whatever it's called. Let me know if anybody else is seeing it. I'm kind of excited. All right. Is there any other moviegoers out there? Any people that, I literally get out of work. Obviously, I do my chart and stuff like that. But, when I get out of work, all right, at 9 or 10 o'clock each night, I just kind of eat and I'll watch a show or a movie. And then, yeah, I go to sleep. And I've been trying to, I've actually been really good about it, going to sleep at 11 o'clock at night so I could wake up real early, 5 to 6 a.m. the next day and get all the stuff, gym, walk, and, the stuff that I got to get done throughout the day, as well as a little deep work kind of block in my schedule, all right? So that is something to, us traders, guys, we got to do that. We got to work on, like I was talking about earlier. You have to. You can't just be sitting there just pulling triggers all the time and stuff like that. You need the time where you're just sitting there back testing, guys. That's going to progress you as the trader. It will. Okay? So make sure you have some time for it. All right, guys. With that being said, I hope you guys are appreciated our hour and 16-minute video here. I really do. It took some time, but guys, dang right, we are prepared. We're prepared for the following week. All right, we know what to be paying attention to. We have an absolute crap ton of tickers to be paying attention to, 23 specifically. We're on Henry's little trade idea list over here. We have quite a few A+ setups within those. Okay, I pointed out some of them as we went. Some of these will be in the focus list if you're over in the Discord, so stay tuned for that. All right, I'm going to be making that one later. All right, guys. Oh, and yeah, 50% off of the lifetime memberships. Code July 4. Okay, take advantage of that over the coming days. All right. With that being said, I love you guys. I really do appreciate the crap out of you guys. Go check out the Twitter if you're not already over there. Okay, let me know what tickers you want, and I will do them on the weekend. And with that being said, everybody have a lovely rest of your weekend. We're gonna freaking kill it next week. And peace.